A YouTuber just got handed the keys to one of NASCAR's biggest weekends, and nobody's mad about it. There are 33 Cup Series veterans who spend years clawing their way to a Grand Marshal moment. Garrett Mitchell, better known online as Cleetus McFarland, is about to do it this weekend at Michigan, and he didn't even come up through the traditional racing ladder. This is either the coolest thing NASCAR has done in years, or a sign of how radically the sport's identity is shifting. Either way, you need to hear this. Here's the rundown. Cleetus McFarland, a 31-year-old content creator with millions of followers across YouTube and social media, is showing up to Michigan International Speedway this weekend with a full itinerary. Friday, he races in the ARCA event driving the number Yent 30 Rete Jones racing car. Saturday, he makes his second career Craftsman Truck Series start in the number 4 Nice Motorsports Chevrolet, the same team that fields Cup Series veterans Ross Chastain and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And on top of all that, NASCAR officially named him Grand Marshal of the truck race, meaning he fires the command to start engines from inside the truck. 3 roles, 1 weekend, 1 guy from YouTube. To understand why this is a bigger deal than it sounds, you have to understand what Cleetus McFarland represents to a generation of motorsport fans. He didn't grow up racing in USAC or the Skip Barber program. He built his following by doing absurd, entertaining things with cars, burning tires, crashing in the dirt, going sideways on a budget. He made racing feel accessible again. His NASCAR journey has been rocky and honest. His Truck Series debut at Daytona this past February ended after just 5 laps when he got loose and hit the wall at turn 4. His most recent oval start in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series featured 2 spins and pit road penalties. He isn't pretending to be polished. That's actually the point. What this weekend represents is NASCAR doubling down on influencer integration, not just as a side attraction, but as a centerpiece. Giving someone the Grand Marshal role isn't cosmetic, that's a symbolic crown. And placing him alongside Chastain and Stenhouse on the same Nice Motorsports roster says something about how seriously the organization, and by extension the sport, is taking this experiment. Let's be direct about what NASCAR is doing here. The sport has been fighting a viewership and relevance battle for over a decade. Traditional fans are aging out. The younger demographic that grew up watching YouTube doesn't have the same emotional attachment to NASCAR that previous generations had. Cleetus McFarland is a bridge. When his audience tunes in Saturday, a huge chunk of them are watching a NASCAR truck race for the first time. Not because of the standings, not because of a playoff chase, because their favorite creator is driving in it. That's an audience acquisition pipeline no marketing budget can replicate. NASCAR understands that. Now, the risk. Putting a content creator in a competitive race field alongside professionals isn't just a publicity stunt. It's a live motorsport event where things go wrong fast. Cleetus has already demonstrated that he's still adapting. The Daytona crash was 5 laps. Michigan is a high-banked, high-speed oval that punishes inexperience differently. If he causes a wreck that takes out a contender mid-race, the goodwill evaporates quickly. The drivers in that field are competing for points and paychecks. Nobody wants to get collected by someone whose primary qualification is having a popular channel. The strategic question isn't whether Cleetus is entertaining. He absolutely is. The question is whether NASCAR has structured this integration intelligently enough that the sporting credibility of the race stays intact. Right now, it feels like they're threading that needle, but the margin is thin. The response has been predictably split. The Cleetus faithful, and there are a lot of them, are electric about this. To them, this is validation that a guy who loves cars the same way they do can walk into NASCAR and earn a seat. It's aspirational content in the most literal sense. The traditional NASCAR crowd is more measured. Some respect the hustle, acknowledging he's actually trying to learn the craft rather than treating it like a celebrity exhibition lap. Others are skeptical, arguing that the Grand Marshal designation cheapens a role that usually carries more weight. And a vocal segment of hardcore fans see this as NASCAR pandering to relevance instead of focusing on the racing product itself. The media angle is fascinating because outlets that would never cover a Craftsman truck race are writing about this one. That alone tells you the strategy is working on some level. Cleetus has a clean, competitive race at Michigan, stays out of trouble, gains experience, and brings hundreds of thousands of new eyeballs to a truck race broadcast. The exposure snowballs into a legitimate part-time NASCAR schedule, and he becomes the sport's most effective ambassador to the next generation of fans. NASCAR gets cultural credibility it couldn't buy at any price. An incident on Michigan's oval, either initiated by him or drawing him in, frustrates the professional field, generates negative headlines, and gives critics the ammunition to argue that celebrity integration compromises competitive integrity. It becomes a cautionary tale about prioritizing social media reach over sporting standards, and future influencer deals face serious resistance from the racing community. Does Cleetus McFarland belong in NASCAR, or is this where entertainment and motorsport draw the line? Drop your take in the comments. Is this the future of the sport or a warning sign? And if you think content creators deserve a legitimate seat at the table in professional racing, hit subscribe. We cover every angle of American sports that the mainstream won't touch the same way. Sports Wire USA, always on the wire.